targets.
Okay, yeah, that's a little story.
Then we have another one that's on page 2 of the Saturday Times. Then we have another one saying federal government, U.S. embassy partners to enlighten Nigeria on new visa rules, and that's coming from the Saturday Times.
All right, so other story says INEC NCOS to engage National Assembly on legal framework for inmates voting. I think that means Nigerian Correctional Centers. So INEC and Nigerian Correctional Facilities to engage the National Assembly on legal framework for inmates voting. Let's just talk a bit about this. I saw the story yesterday where it was reported that INEC are making preparations where we may be having inmates from vote. So those who are in the prisons can actually exercise their franchise.
And that's a nice one.
Yeah, so people are talking about away from inmates voting, diaspora voting, because some Nigerians during elections want to vote, or
yes.
may not be able to travel to the country to vote. So we are looking about how we could have reforms concerning voting. But away from that, yeah, inmates voting is right, but we need to be as transparent as possible. Those are things we need to look at
Yes.
and get public trust, because we need to find a way of confirmation.
Yeah.
So if we see 1,000 votes is coming from this facility, correctional facility, it is that is really the votes that is coming from that facility. So there are concerns about transparency. Of course, Nigerians could have a concern, but if the government can work around making sure it is transparent, making sure that the average Nigerian has trust in the system, I think it will be a good one.
Yes, and we have another story still on the Saturday Times saying 2027, APC not worried about oppositions. We remain strong. Sule. 2027, APC not worried about oppositions. We remain strong. Sule. And that's on page 15.
All right, so another story says Kate Henshaw slams anyhowness after Kwamwon airport scene. Did you see that video?
I saw the video. That was a narrow escape.
Yeah, actually, but Kwamwon actually has offered an apology.
Yes, I saw the video on channels.
Yeah, he has offered an apology and he has taken responsibility of his action and has asked the president to forgive him. Of course, we know he has a very close relationship with the president. And he has a very close relationship with a lot of elites. You know, he's done.
So for him to come out and apologize publicly, I think that's kudos.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good place to start. And you know, in situations like this, I don't want to pontificate a lot about it because sometimes the human factor just gets in. And for me, I think it's that his reflections. He has looked in because he's somebody who's well respected and carries Nigeria, the image of Nigeria, both home and abroad. So for that action, it wasn't befitting for his person.
At all.
Yeah. So I think the apology is good.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one where we now see Nigerian citizens can now take responsibility. And it's a good one, even for our politicians, because things happen, they say things and they just get away with it.
Exactly.
You know, already the law is catching up because it's been suspended for 6 months initially, pending what the investigation.
And I really like that about the minister.
Yeah, for aviation.
Yes, Minister of Aviation. I really like that. Not minding the person involved. If we can just continue like this, I think Nigeria will be very better.
Better. But it speaks to a broader issue now for me. That is the way Nigerians who are privileged treat people they feel are not privileged. That's the larger issue for me, not about Kwamwon now. Like the larger issue where, because I've seen some edits. We have those who are doing very well and are very humble, very respectful. Yeah, we have a couple of them. A lot of them, not even a couple. But I've seen some elites who, because they feel they have power, because they feel they have connection, they intimidate, they abuse, they maltreat, they use all kinds of words against other people. I could mention names, but we're on live TV, so yeah. So we need to start thinking as a people. Everybody should be respected. Just a reason, okay, I know you just want to run into a hotel or move into a hotel. I've seen hotel security guards disrespected, insulted, abused because they man the security post. So some people think, who are you to talk to me?
Who are you?
And that's the same question. So we have to think as a people to grow beyond this. Do you know who I am?
Do you know
Who are you? Kind of syndrome.
Sorry,
Who you are does not matter.
these five letter words can go a long way. Sorry. Once you just say sorry, it's closed. And then take responsibility for your mistakes, and that's all. I think peace will exist.
Absolutely, I have no comments.
So moving to the next story on the newspaper, Saturday Times, it says Obi begs JAMB to ease bureaucratic bottlenecks on changing of university courses.
All right.
That's on page 5.
Okay, so we have other story says Navy dismantles 71 illegal refineries, seizes 411,000 liters of stolen crude. Still on the Saturday Times newspaper.
Yes, and then still on the Saturday Times newspaper, we have security condones of Kwara community.
Okay.
Is it
Babanla.
Babanla as army goes after criminals. That's on page 10.
Okay. So other story says Falcons Madugu Nadozi makes Ballon d'Or nominees. So yesterday we saw a list of people who are nominated for one of the, if not the most prestigious award in world football. And we saw our own Madugo, who is the manager of the Super Falcons, being nominated for that particular award. And for me, that's a big one. And
That's a big one.
Yeah, one of our Super Falcons players being nominated. So whether they go on to win or not, the mere fact that their names have been highlighted among best among the best in the world, for me that's big enough. You may not always have to win awards at the end of the day, but your job has spoken for you.
Yes.
I think that's good.
So moving on to the next paper. What's the next paper?
All right, so let's look at the Nation's newspaper, Saturday edition.
All right, what's it saying?
The lead story on the Nation's newspaper, Saturday edition, says 2027 presidency. Wike, Adeleke, others incur wrath of PDP pro-Jonathan Big Shot for endorsing Tinubu. South must return presidency in 2027, says Niger Delta leaders. We'll come back to the story, but let's take all the stories.
All right, still on the Nation newspaper, Saturday edition, it says federal government pays second tranche of 35,000 naira wage award arrears to workers. And that's on page 1 of the Nation's newspaper.
All right, so on the radar, we have federal government. Okay, you've already taken that story, sorry. Presidency to Daily Trust, responsible critique means fact-driven narrative. So, presidency to Daily Trust, responsible critique means requires fact-driven narrative.
And still on the Nation's newspaper, we have 62.96% candidates pass WAEC as WAEC reviews the 2025 results.
Two stories I want to look at this morning on the Nation's presidency, 2027 presidency, and these 62.96 candidates. I'll come back to you. Abuja Airport now. Kwaramon expresses regrets as pilots tells our own story. So yeah, still the continuation. Then we took the story before. I'll die after church service on Sunday.
At Dibuyi, after eating pounded yam.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's a whole lot.
That's a good way to.
That's a good one.
That's a good way to plan to die.
Yes.
Eat your favorite food.
Eat your favorite food before.
Go to church on Sunday.
Yeah.
Maybe go to mosque, alright.
So we pray.
Yeah, God
comes to pass.
God grants His wish.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So the two stories I like to that we highlight this morning. It's about this 2027 presidency. Wike, Adeleke, others incurred the wrath of the PDP pro-Jonathan Big Shots because we've seen stories. Yesterday, Sule Lamido, the governor,
former governor of Jigawa State.
Yeah, Jigawa State, coming out to say that that Obi should return to the party. begging, so please return to the party. That was actually the sentence he used. And he's also saying that Goodluck Jonathan is the best shot at presidency for PDP in 2027 because he has just one, he can't do more than one term. So he has just one term. And I've seen reports that people are pleading with Jonathan to come run for presidency. But a lot to be talked about because this was the same man that was the president.
The rejected stone.
He said that he was not doing well now. So why the hurry? Why the eagerness? This is just about politics because he will appeal more to the north because he's going to do 4 years, and after 4 years, the presidency will go back to the north. Is that the idea? Is that the calculation? Are you just using him as a pawn to get into power? Because we've heard stories that he was not, a lot of politicians in his government did things and without his consent. So you know that he's a simple man and you may not be able to have his eyes everywhere. Is that the kind of president you people are looking at? What is really the thing that people should allow this man to rest now? Allow him, he was there. Okay, but he has a constitutional right to run for president as a Nigerian. At least he still has 4 years to do if he wants to do so. I wish him all of the best. So if he wants to run the rest of presidency, what can I say?
All right. I think the last story on the Nation newspaper this morning, Saturday edition, says Presidency to Daily Trust. Responsible critics requires fact-driven narratives.
Yeah, that's the last story. But I want to also highlight this 62.96 candidates pass WAEC after WAEC review 2025 results. Because when this story first came out, we had about 32%, passing major subjects like English and mathematics. And it just goes to talk about what is the level of education now. And these are conversations. Because I remember when we were writing WAEC, it was as if our lives, of course our lives depended on it. Our lives depended on it, so it was not as if our lives depended on it. So we read and read.
Sleep, you can sleep.
So what is happening to the educational sector? Because cut-off mark points to enter university was the least you can get is 200. And if you have 200, you are not even sure that you enter.
Exactly.
You have 220, you will not be given admission. But now universities are taking 150 to give admission. What is happening to our education?
180.
150 polytechnics used to manage to take 150. Universities, the least they were taking 200, 180. Some universities were not even taking 180. So are we going forward or are we going backward? JAMB is reducing cut-off marks, say you can have 120 and have admission. How? When exams is 400, it's not even half. Mark is supposed to be 400. At least you should have half, which is 200. So you are having less than the half of 400, and you are having admission. So we need to sit down as a people and think about our priorities as a country. Because if we don't get education right, if people are not educated properly, it affects the sectors, because these are the people that will come out to work as engineers, to work as medical doctors. If you don't educate them well, what kind of country are we building? So for me, I think this is a good one. 62% of candidates passed WAEC. 62. Yes, a little bit above average, but we can do better.
Yeah.
Nigerian children, we can do better. Yes, phones are good, social media, good one, but education is primary.
Best, yeah.
Do you want to say something about education?
No, I don't have anything to say.
You think Nigerian children are doing well?
I think that's another discussion for another day.
Serious discussion. And we need to have this discussion one of these days.
Yes.
Maybe bring an expert to talk to us, talk to parents. Parents have to be conscious about, don't just outsource the education
Not only
of your children
parents.
and paying school fees. It's more than that. You need to be intentional about what they are doing. And I'm very passionate about this because for me, we can't move forward as a country if we don't have the right educational system. But that said, let's move to the last paper. Is it the last paper we have?
No, we have another one after this. So moving on to the next paper is Punch, Saturday edition of Punch newspaper.
Okay, a lot of stories here.
Yeah, we have a lot of stories. We have 2027 Northern Elites pushing Jonathan to contest.
Still on the
Yes.
Jonathan story, I think I've said something about
Says
it.
Kachuku.
All right. So also the lead story says hardship. Nigerian used car market boom as more owners sell vehicles off private vehicles. Cameroonian Benin's dealers rush to Nigerian used cars. Dealers blame custom duties for Tukumbo imports decline. Right, that's the lead story. Other stories we have says Kwan One apology. AFG, IG will decide, says NCAA. So the apology is good, but Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority is saying that the Attorney General of the Federation and the IG will decide. All right, so that's also a story. You take out the stories.
All right, we have another story still on the Saturday edition of Punch newspaper. It says Nigerian won't accept Trump's deportee deal like Rwanda, South Sudan. Federal government.
All right, this story says reign of terror. Southeast gangs recruit Igbo youth online, flaunt crimes with impunity.
Another story says, I lost 2 hens trying to save friend's shop from demolition. Ebony man.
All right, that's a
That's
story
a
that you
touching
may want.
one.
Yeah, you may want to get to know more about it. Let Olubaden get military honor buried with amid fanfare. All right, so on the rider, there's a story that says WAEC releases revealed results, says discrepancies embarrassing, and we had the same situation with JAM, where JAM had to review its own results and say that some students passed, but they failed as a result of technical issues with JAM. So we have to make sure as a country that, because it could be very frustrating waiting for, I remember when I wrote JAM, I wasn't able to sleep. I was just looking at my phone waiting for the scores to come in.
Yes.
So it could be very frustrating. We need to, it's sad that the students will write exams and technical issues will lead to failure. Yes. So those are things that we need to consider as a country. You take the last story.
All right, says late Olubadan gets military honor buried amid fanfare.
Okay, so this story says pastor's sexual advance kept me away from church. Sarah Martin. Okay, maybe you get to tell us which of the pastor is that and a lot more about the story.
So moving on to the next, the last newspaper for today, we have the Guardian weekend edition.
All right, so the weekend edition of the Guardian, big story says E-West time bomb imminent amid solar energy adoption boom. So you get to know what is the E-West and what is the time, how is it a time bomb and what can happen.
Yeah. We have another story from the Guardian weekend edition saying that 2027 INEC seeks voting rights for correctional facilities inmates.
Yeah, we took that story in one of the papers already, and I did say a few things about that. Rivers local government election, besides secondos, others warn against constitutional breaches. That's a story on the Saturday Guardian.
Then we have a UNILAG Faculty of Communication and Media Studies will be a model for others.
All right, so we're still looking at the Guardian newspaper. We'll try to bring that to your screen in no time. Apologies for okay, so we have the Guardian now. So like we said, the lead story says E-West time bomb imminent amid solar energy adoption boom. Yeah, we want to retake the stories again.
All right, we still have UNILAG Faculty of Communication and Media Studies will be a model for others, said Prof. Sunday.
All right, so this one says, another story says, I believe Nigeria will be better. Deleco, I believe it with you.
Yes, so we believe it. So.
Of course, we want it to be better.
Yes.
We don't have a choice. We have to be better. Story says 2027 INEC sees 6 voting rights for correctional facilities inmates.
Then we have PDP threatens to sanction prominent members for endorsing Tinubu's re-election bid.
Alright, so PDP, let me help you with the names of the people. Yes, some Wike, FCT minister, publicly has done that. Osun State Governor, Adeleke, has done that. So maybe we want to start with them first, as prominent people who have endorsed President Tinubu. PDP has a lot of drama and a lot of things going on, but we just wish you well as a political party that you're able to put your house in order and offer a credible alternative to Nigerians. So let's take
the last one, so you take it.
All right, so the last story that we have here says, Ijaw deprivation inspired my investment in infrastructure, says Diri. Ijaw's deprivation inspired my investment in infrastructure, says Diri. All right, people, so that's the much we can take this morning on the newspaper segments of the Global Morning Show Weekend Edition. I hope you had fun. Get across to your local vendor, get a copy of the newspaper, and get to understand what is really happening. Of course, it is important that you have information. Like we all say, information is power. So get across to your local vendor, grab a copy of the newspaper, and get yourself well read. Alright, so let's go for a short break, and when we're back, we get to get Sadia to take us through the kitchen moments, text and texture,
Yes.
how to cook. I don't know what she prepared, but last week I told her in this studio, I told her that if we are doing text and texture, better bring the food, not just teach us how to cook. We want to see the food.
Don't worry, I have everything packaged here.
Alright guys, so let's go for this break, and when we're back, text and texture by Sadiat.
How to prepare fried plantain and egg sauce for breakfast. Hello everyone and welcome to the program Taste and Texture. Today we are going to be preparing delicious Nigerian delicacy, and we will be preparing it from scratch. Preparing fried plantain and egg sauce is essential for making Nigerian traditional breakfast. To prepare fried plantain and egg sauce, you will be needing 1. Some few pieces of fresh sweet ripe plantain. 2. A clean bowl and a knife. 3. A frying pan. 4. Oil. Procedure. 1. Cut or dice your ripe plantain. 2. Add salt. 3. On a low heat, fry your plantain in a hot oil. Fry till golden brown. How to make egg sauce step by step. 1. Wash and chop your vegetables. 2. Place frying pan with oil and onions on fire. 3. Add chopped sweet pepper. 4. Add chopped tomatoes and all veggies. 5. Add spices of your choice. 6. Add whisked eggs. 7. Stir for a few minutes. 8. Serve with fried plantain and egg sauce is ready. That is it for today's episode of the program, Taste and Texture. Hope you will try this recipe in your various homes and hope you enjoyed the program. Join me same time next week for another edition of the program. I am Sadia Yakubu saying thank you for watching. the show. I hope you're enjoying the program Taste and Texture, and hope you try this recipe at home. Obon, how did you feel?
Yeah, the segment was quite very informative and very nice. Just that the only problem I have is that I told you earlier.
Why must you have a problem with it?
I have a problem because you can't keep teaching people without don't teach people how to fish.
But
Give them fish.
okay, so now you want me to give you fish?
All right, so thank you so much, Adias, for taking your time to actually teach us how to make plantain, fresh plantain, and egg sauce. It seems like that's what I'm going to be banking on after this show
The
because
plantain and egg sauce.
amazing, amazing.
You're already celebrating.
And you know this. Sometimes I just know that you do these things intentionally. I know that. I know she does it intentionally. All right, guys. So that's Sadia. Thank you for that one. So let's get back to our topic for today, child upbringing. And when we started the show earlier, we said a few things about how child upbringing is important, how you can. But today, let's at this moment, let's dig in a bit more into what it means. All right. So Sadia said, as the first-time parent or a grandparent, that is very necessary.
Important, yeah.
You know how to bring up a child very well. And people ask questions: what do children need most from caregivers in their early years? Let's start with that one, Sadia.
They need love. They need guidance. Once a child is doing something that it's not good, the earlier you correct that child, the better. Let him or her, or he or she knows that this thing he is doing or she is doing is not good. I think parents need to pay more attention on that. We are not saying don't love a child. No, you should love your child. That's your flesh and blood. You get, but don't allow that love overseas other aspects. Like, for example, we have some parents that, because of the love of the child, they don't want that child to be corrected. Whatever the child does or do, it's okay. It's fine. That's the right thing. You get, I want this, they get it. I want this, they get for the child. I want that. Teach that child that sometimes in life, you need to endure. Okay, what if a situation whereby the child now lost his or her own dad or both parents? How do you want that child to kind of continue the struggles in life? You've already brought him or her up to believe that whatever he requests, he gets or she gets. Situation whereby they are not alive. Of course, we can't avoid death. Death is a compulsory journey that we all must take. But then, learn to teach your child that today you might want to get something, you would have it. While tomorrow, you might not have it.
Yeah.
I came about a story one certain time, I think a few weeks ago, that on social media, though, the man said he's a wealthy person. But then he had to teach his child how to make money, legit money. He said he gave his child, I think, about 250 naira to buy this local hand fan to sell. And the child sold and gained, was it 500 or 1,000 naira? And then brought back the money like, Baba, this is it, this is the money I made. I take 250 that you bought the fan for me. And then he said if he was happy, that's him teaching his child how to make money, not to rely on anyone. You understand? But now, some parents, they don't want to do that. They believe giving the child luxury, that's the real love, that's the guardian. No, it's not.
Yeah, so I think we are speaking to the place of skill.
Yes.
In upbringing, the place of because there are some life skills that you must have. Yeah, for instance, cooking is a life skill.
Yeah.
It should not be. It's not a gender role. So whether you're a man or a woman, you get hungry.
Exactly.
And so, what if you're in a place where you can't buy food at the moment and you don't know how to cook because you're not brought up
cooking?
Yeah, we're not taught how to cook when you were brought up. So that's very foundational. Love, it's very important.
Here they will make it a woman must cook. No. It's not only women. not only the female, even the male gender, that is the opposite sex.
Yeah, that's why I said it's a
You
life skill for
definitely,
everybody.
yes, you definitely teach your child how to cook.
Right. So I think another thing is emotional security.
Exactly.
Bringing, because children learn a lot from what they see.
Yeah.
So they need a safe space to be able to make mistakes and grow. If a child makes a mistake, you can correct the child and move on. There's no need to keep repeating
Think that.
Do you remember that 2 years ago I told you to sweep, you did not sweep? All those things, could emotionally detach the child from you. So you have to build that bond that even when you correct the child knows that you love him and you are his friend. You are the first person he could tell things to. If people are bullying him in school, he could tell you. If there's an harassment around, he could tell you. Because there are family members who harass children and they can't tell anybody because they don't have they are
Good relationship.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If I tell my mom, this is what she's going to think, let the child be so free to tell you anything and everything. In fact, it should be the first port of call when your child runs into problem. So that foundation of love, of
instead
peace,
of running
of
to someone
security,
else.
you are coming back home, everybody's running.
That's too bad.
Everybody's daddy's back home, mommy, everybody's running to sleep, to hide. When you are home, nobody talks. They use those phones to talk. So children need comfortable environment to be able to strive and do well. Yeah.
How do such parents feel? You coming back home and your child is running away from you.
Some of them feel good that
discipline.
Yes, I'm the hard man. My children
it doesn't work that way.
They could pretend for years.
Yes,
and
it doesn't
get into
work that way.
adulthood and now decide to show you their real character.
Their real color.
Yes, because if a child, there's a thing a lot of people say in Nigeria that, like, are you feeding me? When people get to that stage,
am I under you?
And still decide to respect you, it's because you brought them up well.
Yeah.
Not because they can decide not to. You are not doing really basically anything for them. So we must allow a family where love is the foundation.
Love conquers all. But then you still have to kind of teach them, separate right from wrong. That will go a long way.
All right. So we must also get very practical with our children by teaching them to do the right things and helping them to get the right connections in life. As parents, you have to be mindful of your emotions. You have to set consistent routines, like bedtime routines.
Yes.
You must have some time to spend with your children. I know that we used to have holiday periods, right? So during the holidays, everybody will travel. And we travel by road, so it's like 3 hours, and it's always very fun because that journey we stop over 4 places, we'll eat on the road, we'll buy things on the road. So we used to look forward to that trip at the end of the year when we're going back to the village. So you must set routines where your children will look forward to having with you and always having you around.
And a quick one, what does discipline means? What does it really mean?
Now, for me, I think discipline means correcting without judging. You are pointing out this is what is morally acceptable in the society you are going to grow up in. Because if a child takes things without permission, we are not saying stealing, just you kept your money, your child took your money without permission. You have to teach your child that this is not how it works in the real world.
Yeah.
You don't take people things. You don't say, it's my child and I'm the mother. No, you have to be straight about it, and that's where discipline comes. If you need something that is not yours, you ask. If the person decides to give you, fine. If he does not decide to give you, good. So because you are my child does not mean you can just pick my thing, maybe get money to go and buy something and say, after it's my mother's money. Because tomorrow it may transfer from mother's money to neighbor.
And gradually, we're losing it.
So discipline is setting the standard and saying, you don't do this. You have to ask for permission, you have to greet, you have to setting standard basically for me. That's all discipline.
But do you think we still have such kind of parents?
We have a lot though. A lot. We have people that say, Nigerians are very culturally ingrained.
Yes.
Our culture speaks of respect. So we still have people that look up to that setting of standard, and they do very well.
All right.
Okay, so let me just talk about the place of positive reinforcement and upbringing. When a child does well, please celebrate the child.
Yes, that's another part.
Not only the things you only talk about is when there's an error,
Yes.
when there's a mistake, but you never care to talk about the ones.
Celebration the child.
So the child spends the whole day sweeping the house, washing the dishes, and just because she poured water or water slipped from her hand on the floor,
And then boom.
hell broke loose. But the other ones she did all around. You know, those are things that will make them question you
Yeah.
and question your love for them.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, people, that's the size of our program for you today. I hope you had a wonderful Saturday with us, enjoying every bit of what we brought to you. And like we say, every little moment counts. Singing with your children, listening to your children. Please be interested in their conversation. Be their friend, because we need a good Nigeria. Maybe this is a conversation that we need to continue, because nobody is perfect. We keep learning and we want to do better. As children, we want to help you, we want to see you do better, and we have our own part to contribute the same way that the parents have part to contribute. Thank you so much, Sadiat, for joining us this morning on the weekend edition of the show. Maybe just have a few things to say to the children and the parents.
Thanks for joining us on Global Morning. Parents, do well by giving your children a hug on our behalf. Tell them we also love them. Until next week again, same time and same
Amazing. I really
station.
like that hug part. Yeah, just hold your children.
Yeah.
Get to settle all differences that people have.
Yes.
This morning, call family meeting.
Call for family meeting. Your daddy, mom, you call your children for family meeting. Sit with them and then ask them questions. You see, parents also offend children.
A lot of times.
Yes, and children offend their parents. So you sit and then you settle differences. Daddy, ask your child, what have I ever done to offend you?
Mommy, ask a lot of things to offend you, so we'll talk about that. Okay. And people, that's the size of our show for today. You do have for yourself a wonderful Saturday. My name is Ubong Osoro.
And I am Sadia.